Yeah.
Her red will not let her just be on vacation. I'm going to silence that. Okay, why don't we go ahead and get started? It is 7:30 and we are recording. So I just want to take this opportunity to welcome all of you guys for spending about the next hour with us. As you probably heard, this is the first time we've done this content together. But I think it's really important because as we age, things change, and Young Living has a lot of great things that can help us through all the different seasons of life, no matter where you are. So my name is Tammy Long. I have been using Young Living products since I think November of 15, 14. I don't even remember now. Several years. And I actually started for sleep support for my son and to get away from narcotics and painkillers for me, and found things relatively quickly that helped both of those things. And then I moved on to like the cleaning products, which when I first started, I had to make a lot of cleaning products, but I started looking at labels and seeing all of the I was the girl that had a cleaning product for every surface. So I had like a window cleaner, I had a surface disinfectant, I had, and like all those chemicals were probably the cause of all of the side effects I was having. The car accident stuff was there, but all of the other symptoms, there probably was a lot of toxic overload that I was dealing with. So swapped out a lot of my cleaning products. And then after I had like the sleep and the pain and the cleaning products, I just kind of started trying new stuff. And the hormones, I tried Progestins Plus because I was experiencing I think probably some like perimenopausal symptoms, and tried Progestins Plus and it worked. And made the mistake one time of running out. I ran out and I thought, I don't need that stuff anymore because I don't have these symptoms anymore. And then it went out of stock. So I was without it for like 6 weeks. And I learned a very, very important lesson, that you don't ever run out of Progestins Plus. This girl doesn't ever run out of Progestins Plus. So we are going to cover kind of like what hormones are, what they do in the body, and how you can kind of keep them happy with some different supplements and oils, and ditching chemicals and stuff. I need to plug my computer in. I'm sorry. Very unprofessional. I'm sorry. Life happens. So we're going to talk about hormones, basically, and they impact like everything that goes on within our body, how we handle stress. I'm just going to plug this in because I'm getting sidetracked. Excuse me. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so hormones are impacted by a lot of things that happen. They are responsible for stress. They can impact medications, nutrient deficient diets, poor food choices, inadequate sleep, genetics. If you have a less than active lifestyle, these are all things that kind of can affect your hormones. And what we are going to talk about tonight is maybe showing you some things that you can change or swap out, or just to help you regulate your endocrine system and help keep your hormones happy, because nobody wants to do this, right? There is a book called Taming the Dragon Within, and that is a book that talks about several different Young Living oils and products that you can help to regulate hormones. So if you want to dig into what we are talking tonight, that was a book that we actually are using Sarah Harnish's script book as like the backbone to this class. And it's a book that she references. I'm not going to go into the things that that book talks about. I figured I would just reference it. And if you want to dig deeper into it, you can check it out. So Young Living has created an entire line of supplements for both women and men, yes, and men, to help regulate and keep our endocrine system happy. We're going to take a look at both of those tonight. And I'm just going to say this, that men can have dragon days too. Women get the bad rap that, you know, we go in cycles, and the men know, the boys in my house know. But you know what? When my hormones are happy, nobody knows. So every single product that Young Living makes is subject to our seed to seal promise. And basically what that means is we don't get the organic seal because we kind of think organic is cute. We go way above and beyond what is required for organic. And that's why you won't see the organic seal on Young Living. We will not put a seed in soil if it has had any synthetic chemical on it within the last 50 years. Just to give you a guideline, the organic guideline is 5 to 7 years. So we go way beyond that with 50 years. We harvest the strongest seeds from the strongest plants when we are getting ready for our next crop. So best seeds from the strongest plants. We hand weed everything. And when I say we, I mean Young Living. We don't use chemical pesticides or fertilizers. We plant cover crops to get rid of pests. All of the farmers work together. We'll use like the runoff water from distilling peppermint as a natural insect deterrent. Nothing synthetic touches our soil, our plants, the seeds, nothing. And the distillation process is either cold pressed or steam distilled. So it's water, pressure, vapor. That's how we distill. We test at several different intervals, and we harvest at the peak. One of the things, like with lavender, they found out through testing that when you cut lavender down, you actually have to let it sit for a while because that plant will try to rebuild itself. And those are the constituents that you actually want, because the parts that are trying to heal the plant are the constituents that we want to help support our bodies. So let's just jump right in. What is a hormone? They are the messengers in our body that regulate metabolism, growth, development, tissue function, sexual function, reproduction, sleep, and mood. And I'm here to tell you. With all of these responsibilities, there's a bunch of things that can happen. If you're just slightly out of balance, you're going to see some side effects. It could be migraines, insomnia, weak bones, weight gain, hot flashes, all of those things that we associate with the negative things that we associate with hormones. Mood swings, infertility, not able to cope or handle stress, a low libido. When your hormones are out of balance, it can expedite the aging process. Nobody wants that. Hormones are in every single cell of your body, and they tell us when to wake up, when to go to sleep, when to eat, when to stop eating. They tell us when to replace cells, or maybe when cells just need to slowly fade away. Knowing how hormones work and what you can do to keep them happy is what we are here to talk about tonight. So I'm going to pass it to Lene.
Thank you, Tammy. My name is Lene. I am a nurse. I happened to get my aromatherapy certification because I thought that's what you needed to do. You don't. But I've been with Young Living for over 7 years, and I got started because my kids needed to sleep and they weren't. And even as a nurse, and I pushed drugs in an ICU all day, it's not something I wanted to do in my home. So I got my kit and started using Peace and Calming on the kids' feet at 6 months and 2 years. And lo and behold, it worked. I was like, wow, this is cool. So I kept investigating and learning and just immersing myself in what all Young Living had to offer. So it led me to where I am today with an exponential increase in my health for sure, especially over the last couple years. Because one of the beautiful things about this community of people is the knowledge that you learn. And I learned things through this community of people about health and went to my doctor with that information. Well, behold, yes, that is something I was now dealing with. But I felt so empowered to have that knowledge, and I wouldn't have thought to seek that out or to ask about that particular test had it not been for the Young Living community and people being focused on getting to the root cause. So that's what we're here tonight to talk about, is getting to the root cause and not just giving ourselves a Band-Aid and taking a whole bunch of ibuprofen or Tylenol around that time of the month that has an effect on your liver and kidneys down the road. So hormones, everybody has them no matter what stage of life you're at, okay? Whether you're still childbearing years or whether you're post-childbearing years, we all have hormones. And they're actually one of the major driving forces in our body. What I want to talk about specifically is the endocrine system. So the endocrine system is a chemical messenger system that consists of all the glands in your body that make hormones. So the thyroid, the parathyroid, the adrenals, the pancreas, the ovaries in women, the testes in men. And these hormones regulate how other organs in our body operate. So without hormones, we wouldn't have the appropriate messengers to tell our body what to do. So these messengers are made by the glands, and they're secreted directly into the circulatory system, which is our blood vessels, okay? So the balance in our body is maintained. And I also like to use the fancy word homeostasis. That's balance in our body, okay? That's my medical term for the day. The body is constantly trying to keep your system in balance or in homeostasis, but it's a huge task, okay? So there's a lot involved. The liver is actually not technically part of the endocrine system, but it plays a huge role because it has to keep removing the excess hormones from the bloodstream. So it's impacted by the hypothalamus, which is in the neural, the brain, and which sends the hormones to the liver. Okay. So the hypothalamus, like I said, is in an area deep inside the brain that receives those chemical messengers, or those chemical signals through the blood and electrical signals from the nervous system that keep it in the know of the body's needs. Okay. And it's essentially the regulator, kind of like the thermostat, if you will, of all the other hormones. It keeps track of the blood concentrations of hormones and emotional thoughts. The hypothalamus gives orders to the pituitary gland, which in turn releases hormones that signal the other glands downstream. So they all play an integral role in helping the body regulate itself. And no, I don't expect you to draw this out and map it out. I could do that because I would geek out on something like that, but I won't expect you to do that. Because even as for me, visual, I wish I should turn on my drawing board here so I could all map it out. It might be easier to understand that way. But you'll just have to picture it in your mind for tonight. So like I said, the hypothalamus gives the orders to the pituitary gland, which in turn releases the hormones that signal other glands downstream. It tells the kidneys to control water retention, and the adrenal glands, sit right on top of your kidneys. Okay, they almost look like little fat cells, but they sit right on top of your kidneys. And it tells the adrenals to produce the hormones for energy. So yes, we need hormones to feel more energized. It even determines when you need to sleep. And if this gland doesn't function properly, none of the others will either. So the pituitary gland can lead to things like high blood pressure, lactation problems, water and temperature regulation, poor memory, adrenal insufficiency, weight problems, and more. So people that have weight issues or high blood pressure issues, they go to the doctor and the doctor prescribes a pill, when instead, if they would get to the root cause, they would see, oh, the hypothalamus and pituitary gland aren't functioning. Well, let's focus on that. Let's take care of that, and that will actually more than likely solve the problem. So the best supplement that Young Living has to love on the pituitary gland is omega Gi's. Okay, and it helps also helps to put a drop of lavender vitality and a drop of frankincense vitality on the roof of the mouth 4 to 5 times a day, and that can help give support to that pituitary gland. Next up is the thyroid, and this is one of my favorite subjects because I have thyroid issues, and that's actually what led to my health transformation. I got rid of almost 50 pounds. I've gotten muscle. I weight train now, and I'm in such better health than I was 2.5 years ago. So I'm actually thankful for the diagnosis that I was given because it put me on a trajectory to where I am now. The thyroid gland works under direction of the pituitary gland. So like we said, the hypothalamus, then the pituitary, then the thyroid. So if you have a backlog or a miscommunication or something's not working right in any one of those, then it affects everything underneath it. Okay, so it creates hormones that boost the metabolism of every cell. It can trigger how hungry you are, and when it's underperforming, you'll have extreme fatigue. If it's overactive, you may have things like weight gain, coarse, dry hair, cold intolerance, muscle cramps, memory loss. Endoflex essential oil is a wonderful on the throat support for the thyroid, and we also have a supplement called Thyromin that supports the thyroid. Thyromin has been key in helping my thyroid recover from the hypothyroid and the Hashimoto diagnosis. So, and I can talk later about how I muscle test and stuff to see if I need 1 or 2 or 3 of those Thyromin pills, because it does fluctuate a little bit. It's best to take it between 9 and 11 p.m. so the body uses it at the right time. And it actually, when I started taking it, my sleep started improving. So other people have actually, a friend of mine started taking it at night and she was staying up. So just know that with the way the supplements work, because they are made with essential oils that are living and work with your body, everybody's body chemistry is different. So it's one of those, you're just going to have to try it and see how it works for you. Try it for at least 30 days though, because that's kind of what the time frame that you need to see if something's actually really functioning for you. The adrenal glands are next, and they're the most famous glands in the endocrine system because we connect them to our energy levels. They are the nitro in the human body. So we're going to spend a little extra time on them because I want to give you a quick reflexology tip that you can use on your own feet to relieve stress and give yourself a good energy boost. So the adrenal glands, like I said, they sit right on top of the kidneys, and they make hormones which give the body energy. And they also help control functions such as blood pressure and sweating. They produce cortisol, which is the stress hormone. And if your body has too little cortisol, even minor stress can feel very overwhelming, okay? They produce sex hormones. So I'm sure you've suspected that adrenaline is produced by the adrenal glands. The main purpose of adrenaline is to get the liver to turn protein into glucose fast so that the brain has more energy, because one of the main food sources for our brain is oxygen and sugar, or glucose. So the liver's job is to turn that turn protein into glucose fast so that your brain can function. The adrenals also love B vitamins, and Young Living makes a vitamin called Super B that is very supporting toward the adrenal glands, as are the essential oils clove and nutmeg. Apply the oils on your adrenal reflexology point. So mentally draw a straight line underneath the ball of your big toe. That line is called the tendon line. Your tendon will pop out when you point your toe toward your chin. So if you're sticking your foot out and you're pointing your toe toward your chin, that tendon will kind of pop out at you. The reflex is slightly off from the tendon toward the outside of your foot. So not toward the inside of your foot, but towards the outside of your foot. And the adrenals are located halfway between the ball of your big toe and the highest point in your arch. So I'm going to see if, be ready to see my foot, okay? Because like I said, I'm visual. So here's kind of like your tendon line, like right across here, and the adrenals are about right here. So like here's the halfway point here, the adrenals are right in there. Does that make sense? So if you take the oils and apply pressure there, like the clove and the nutmeg, you will be supporting your adrenals in a beautiful way. Okay. So you have 2 adrenal glands in your back on top, like I said, on top of each kidney, and you will have 1 on each foot as well, so to affect both sides. So the feet mimic the layout of the body. So just apply gentle, deep thumb pressure to this point for 1 to 2 minutes. And after a few moments, you'll notice your breathing deepens and your overall tension loosens. You'll feel much more relaxed. You're supporting your adrenals. You're getting them to calm down, producing less cortisol, which is that stress hormone. And then you'll feel like you'll be able to tackle more for the day. So just in case you're wondering, you can also apply the oils to the solar plexus, which is this part right up here, like right below the toes, as well, to get the same results. That point likes the oils eucalyptus globulus and juniper to wake it up, and vetiver or helichrysum to calm it down. So if you're on overload, grapefruit and lemon are very balancing at that point. And the solar plexus is a tight network of nerves at the bottom of your rib cage. So your rib cage sits right here, and there's like a network of nerves right in there. Those nerves run to your feet, and when you're tight there, most often the diaphragm, which is what your main breathing muscle is tight as well. And this area of your body represents your power center. And it stands for the way we see ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. So if that stuff is off or you're all tense, you're not going to have as good of self-esteem, which I think is really interesting. So for quick relief, you use a reflexology protocol. For prolonged adrenal assistance, feed the adrenals daily with Super B, Omega Gies, and mineral essence, and then apply clove, nutmeg, Endoflex, and energy oils to the adrenal points on the feet. I don't usually advise putting the oils directly over the glands, like on the back, because it's a sensitive area of skin. Your feet are always a great place to put oils because that tissue down there, that skin down there is super tough. And it's not as sensitive because you walk on your, I like to walk on my bare feet, so my skin's toughened up there. Next, I want to touch base on estrogen and progesterone, and then we're going to move on to how all these hormones get disrupted. So up to this point, we've covered the major glands of the endocrine system. And so we're going to talk about 2 of the hormones that some of these glands release, estrogen and progesterone. So progesterone takes control if the ovaries release eggs. Okay, it helps a fertilized egg attach to the uterus. It's a neurosteroid produced in the reproductive system and the neurological system. It impacts the ability of nerves to carry signals. So if progesterone isn't present then estrogen will take over and inhibit or prevent that chemical process. If it sits like that long enough, it can cause the cells to mutate and cause serious issues. So have to work together to bring about that homeostasis. Estrogen feminizes the body. Both male and female bodies carry this hormone, but females carry more of it. In addition to its role in sexual and reproductive health, it maintains skin, blood vessels, bones, and aids in memory. On the flip side, if there are imbalances with estrogen, it can lead to problems such as increased fat storage, fluid retention, dry skin, severe premenstrual or menopausal symptoms, and irregular menstruation, low sex drive, fatigue, mood changes, sleeping problems, or even risks of cancer. So Young Living makes a few products to help with the balance between these two hormones so that one isn't stronger than it needs to be. And we'll discuss these a little bit more detail. I'm going to hand it off to Susie.
Hello, everyone. I'm Susie. I've been with Young Living for about 5.5 years. I've been oiling. My knees led me to Young Living because they were degenerating, and I was assumed to be on narco and gel injections until my knees got replaced. And I wanted an alternative. So I started looking for alternatives, and I found one with Young Living. I found one in my premium starter kit. In fact, I didn't even need to buy anything outside of that, but I wanted to try deep relief, and I wanted to try everything that I found products work. So I did, and I fell down the rabbit hole. And here we are talking about hormones, because this was another area that really affected me and my system, because I was always a regular girl. Like, I was an every 28-day girl. And then midlife happened and aging happened. Tammy, Lene, and I are all about the same age, like within months apart from each other. So we all kind of know what those symptoms are. But what I did want to say before I go into hormone disruptors is, you guys, things that are related to menstrual issues or hormonal issues are not normal. Like, can we please just stop normalizing things like PCOS and heavy and difficult flow days and fibrosis in our uterus? Like, those things are not normal. Our bodies, our systems are made perfect. So if something's going on, we'll go to the doctor and we'll be like, hey, something's going on. And they'll be like, they'll write you a prescription, they'll send you on birth control, they'll do whatever you need to. But what they don't do is go to the next layer, which is why? Why do you have PCOS? What caused the fibrosis? These kind of things, that's where we start unlayering that onion. And Lindsay Elmore actually did an amazing story today. If you don't follow her on Instagram, go check out her story today. She's talking about functional medicine. And I loved what she had to say about it. And all of this stuff plays really nicely into that hand, because hormone disruptors or xenoestrogens kind of are like what leads to these kind of things. So we discussed a number of different things that can throw hormones into and out of whack and cause a whole bunch of different health issues, but xenoestrogens do just that. They are estrogen mimicking compounds, which is a type of hormone disruptor found in food additives, insecticides, weed killers, plastics, shampoos, cosmetics, detergents, and the linings of the foods and drinks that we use. They're also fed to the very cows that we eat. So when I found out that there was a whole bunch of crap in products that are targeted to women in particular, like, it's completely disturbing. So while we're on the topic of hormone disruptors, there's a big elephant in the room that no one seems to talk about, and that is the toxicity of the feminine products that we use during our cycles. Like nobody talks about that either. So make sure that you look and research the products that you're using and make sure that they're chlorine free and have no synthetic pesticides, dyes, or fragrances. Some of Sarah's favorite brands to look into are Vita or Natra Care and Organic. She absolutely does not trust companies like the 7th Generation, OB Organics, or the Honest Company. Honest is owned by Coca-Cola. So it's just, you just have to do your own research and do what's best for you and your body. I recently made the switch to Thinx, and I've had some Thinx periods that have been fantastic. Like I had no idea a period could be so smooth and have so few cramps and have so few problems at all. So that's what I did. But I mean, you do you. Just make sure you're reading the labels on your feminine products. So all the pollutants and toxins that we are exposed to accumulate in our tissues, like our breasts, thyroids, ovaries, and our uterus. So some can imitate natural hormones, activating hormone receptors that overstimulate our glands. That can increase the risk of hormone dependent cancers like breast cancer, uterine cancer, and other serious issues and disorders. So how can we tell if our hormones are off? You probably already can name some of these. Like maybe you'll have tender breasts around your cycle during different parts of the month. You'll have mood swings or water retention. Maybe you just cry for no reason. Like nobody's done that. You have trouble going in the morning. After 17 hours of sleep, you just can't get yourself moving. Clinical headaches and migraines. Who doesn't have migraines around their cycles? Low libido, irritability. Quick to anger. Nobody does that, right? Nobody flies off the handle for no reason. Not at all. No irrationality here. Anxiety, uterine fibroids, puffiness, bloating, bleeding changes. I'm just going to keep going through these because chances are these are things that somebody in here has experienced, and these all have to do if your hormones are out of whack. How about being cold all the time? Cold body temperature, cystic ovaries or polycystic ovaries, vaginitis or vaginal infections, dry vagina or little mucus, uterine or endometrial cancer, also hormone imbalance, fungal or candida. Did I do that right? Candida infections, heavy menses, breast cancer, sleep disturbances, sugar cravings, or feeling hungry. There are days that I have insatiable hunger. Like no matter what I eat, I just can't get through it. You need caffeine to get going in the morning and then again in the mid-afternoon as a pick-me-up. Elevated triglycerides, infertility, variations in your menstrual cycle, leaky bladder, interstitial cystitis, tingling of the hands and feet, tinnitus, ear ringing in your ear, fibromyalgia, digestive problems, and low blood sugar can all be signs of hormone imbalance. So before we cover products that can actually help balance these hormones, it's equally important that you experience these symptoms to have regular colon cleanses. So consider colon hydrotherapy or coffee enemas or the cleansing trio that Young Living has. That's also a really good way to cleanse your colon. It's particularly important that you're regularly supplementing the pituitary, thyroid, and adrenal glands. We talked about what each of those glands does earlier. Lene did a great job with that, a really great job with that. but we're going to recap that at the end. So now I'm going to pass this over to Tammy, and she's going to talk to us about some products that will balance these hormones.
Thank you, Susie. So as I told you, and I learned a lot while I was preparing for this class of things I need to put in my next order, because the only thing I'm using right now is Progessence Plus. And it is actually, it's not an essential oil. It comes in a bottle like our oils do, but it's actually a serum. It is derived from wild yam, and it's in vitamin E, and then there's copaiba, frankincense, bergamot, clove, and peppermint. And the purpose of those oils is to help the body absorb, and then to help to get the wild yam into the cells so that it can do what it needs to do. For me, I had things like unexplained bloating. I would be bloated and feel like I had just eaten 3 Thanksgiving turkeys, and I hadn't eaten anything. And it was like, I had a bunch of symptoms. I had like dull headaches that would progress to migraines. And I thought it was all like car accident related stuff from years ago, until I started doing some digging, tried Progessence Plus. And now when Flo comes to town, it's kind of a shock unless I'm looking at the calendar, because I don't have those. It just keeps my hormones nice and balanced. And I don't have those wicked swings like I used to. I'm sure I'm a little more grumpy if you ask the boys in my house, but what do they know? So I always tell people, if you're thinking that you have something going on with your hormones, Progessence Plus it's an easy way to start. And it's recommended just either right over your carotids, or I sometimes just put it right over my thyroid. So, and I put just a roller top on it, pop the reducer out and put a roller top, and it sits right next to my deodorant, because every day I go in, brush my teeth, put on my deodorant, and then the Progessence Plus goes on. And some people use it just like a few days before their cycle starts. I use it every single day because that's what works best for me. So you may have to experiment a little bit with it to see what works for you. But what it does, the purpose of Progessence Plus is to just support your natural cycle. And it works from like teens to older adult women. And for me, like I said, with mild headaches, menstrual migraines, moodiness, anger, cramps, hot flashes, that was another thing that I would wake up and have to change pajamas 2 or 3 times at night. And I don't have to do that anymore. I normally run a little cooler, and I have to have a blanket on or I can't sleep. I have to have that weight. I actually sleep with a weighted blanket. So that was causing all kinds of problems when I had to wake up and change clothes. And sometimes the sheets were so wet that I had to either go find another place to sleep or deal with that. So let's see. As we age, our body slows down the production of progesterone, and a natural supplement or a natural way to deal with that is better. If you look, the Cleveland Clinic is one of the most respected clinics in the United States. The Cleveland Clinic has an entire warning page of hormone therapy replacement dangers. So I'm going to let you look that up, but they talk about increased risk of endometrial, and I'm not going to do this, endometrial cancer, increased risk of stroke and blood clots, increased chance of gallbladder and issues and gallstones, increased risk of dementia. How many of us know somebody with memory problems? I know a lot of people, especially women, who have memory problems. Increased risk of breast cancer. I know a lot of people, even people my age, that have had breast cancer. Monthly bleeding, irregular spotting, breast tenderness, fluid retention, where like your legs blow up and you feel like you need to wear those compression hose to get rid of that extra fluid. Headaches, including migraines, skin discoloration, and increased breast density. So those don't sound pleasant to me. So if I can find a natural way to help my body go through this process, that's the way I'm going. You, like I said before, you may need to play around to find out if you're somebody that needs to use it the entire month. If you're somebody that needs it a couple times a day, you can use it like every 2 hours to support your body. I very seldom get a negative response when I suggest that to somebody. They're usually calling and saying, thank you so much for letting me know. And these are the things that it helped with. So we have some other supplements that can help. One of them is Femagen, and that is a natural phytoestrogen supplement that supports female health with the benefits of dong quai, black cohosh, am I saying that right? Amino acids and essential oils. So black and blue cohosh are plants that are natural sources of phytoestrogens. Femagen supports bone health, so think osteoporosis and that kyphosis that you see. So it supports bone health in men and women, aids the brain, the mood, bones, skin, and heart and other issues. Why am I not taking this? It's going on my next order. Femagen contains essential oils such as clary sage, which helps to regulate hormones. It contains sage, which helps the balance between estrogen and progesterone, testosterone, and supports both the nervous system and the adrenal cortex. And ylang ylang supports the adrenal glands. And fennel, this is one that I have, and I don't know how to use it because it was a promo. Well, now I know. Fennel gives you overall gland support. So you can take anything that we have in a Vitality, you can put drops of that in a capsule and just take it orally, or you can apply topically. Feet, like where Lene showed you that's a great place. Feet are always a great place when you don't know where to put stuff. Sclerescence is another thing, and this actually is an essential oil. Helps manage stress, and it's a natural romance enhancer. So again, why am I not using this? Going in my next order. My next order is all about me. And sclerescence comes in Vitality. So this is one that you can, again, either topically, or you can put 1 to 3 drops in a capsule, or water or tea, or however you would like to ingest that. You can also apply it topically to your abdomen. Endoflex is another one, and I have used this one a little bit, and I think I ran out, and I don't know why I never reordered it, but I know that this one helped me too. It's designed to support your whole endocrine system, and it does come in a Vitality version, which means that you can use it as a supplement. It contains essential oils that are great for your endocrine glands: geranium, spearmint, sage, myrtle, and nutmeg. So you can either rub this on your throat or on that spot where Lene showed us on your feet. And Prenolone Plus, I hope I'm saying that right, is actually a cream. I just ordered this one today. Is a natural pregnenolone cream that enhances low levels of hormones. So as we age and everything slows down, this would be a great one to add. Pregnenolone is essentially a steroid hormone that can transform its various hormones like DHEA, testosterone, estrogen, and more. So we usually associate hormones with different phases in life, like puberty, pregnancy, menopause, but hormones actually impact us every day, every minute of every day. They influence the overall health of our bodies and mind and emotions. So like, I don't remember who was it, Susie, that said, you think about it, you hear a song on the radio and you start crying for no reason, or you watch a movie that you've seen 1,000 times and it's that emotional time of the month, and then you start bawling for no reason. So I'm going to pass this back over to Susie, and she is going to talk a little bit more about that.
It's actually me, Tammy. That's okay. So earlier I mentioned the hypothalamus, and it's one of the main parts of the limbic system, and your limbic system is connected to your olfactory system. So when you take a breath in, things go to the limbic system, and that's why smelling oils is so impactful to your feeling center of your brain. It responds to the emotional stimuli and uses it to regulate the endocrine system. So when you sniff an oil, that's where it goes. It regulates just about all of the moment-to-moment, day-to-day metabolic functions of the body. And thanks to the interplay of the endocrine signals from the hypothalamus, It often happens that an intense feeling will cause an emotion to be sent to a specific organ to interfere with its function and get stored there. So, yes, our emotions are stored in our organs. So this is why it's so important for us to take extra good care of our bodies and support our different organs with the different oils and supplements. So fear and worry, they're stored in your kidneys. So if you have kidney issues, maybe there's some fear and worry that you need to work through. Anger and rage, that's stored in the liver and the gallbladder. Inner crying, so if you just kind of feel like you're so sad and you're crying inside, that's stored in the lungs or the kidney as well. Sadness, stored in the pancreas. What does the pancreas do? That affects our insulin, our blood sugar levels. So if you have blood sugar spikes or, roller coaster effect of blood sugars, then maybe there's some sadness that you need to deal with and get rid of to help your pancreas function better. Lack of joy, that is stored in the heart. Unforgiveness, that again is stored in the liver. Revenge, it's stored in the kidney and can result in kidney stones. Stress, that's stored in the stomach. And how many of us have digestive issues when we're extra stressed? I know I am, and my husband is, that's for sure. So if you want to work on some of these areas, I'd recommend studying the feelings. There's another class that we probably will touch on later. It's called the feelings class, and there's also some good books that we can recommend. So just reach out to the person who invited you to this class, and they can share with you some resources on how to deal with emotions and your body organs. And there's the feelings kit. Thank you, Tammy. So that really has all the oils that affect the different organs in your body. So the hypothalamus has its direct connection to the olfactory organs of the nose, like I said, and affects our sense of smell. And this is done through the cranial nerve. It's an extension of the brain tissue. It's found nowhere else in the nervous system. And it means the things that we smell pass directly into the brain without interruption. So for it to be recognized by the brain, it must be carried by a lipid. And a lipid is an oil or a fatty substance, okay? Studies have shown that scents held below the nose show up instantly in the hypothalamus. And that's how oils work for our emotions. That's just amazing to me. So now for the drum roll. We have talked about Progessence Plus and Femigen, and we're going to share with you 2 more supplements for women, along with a few oils before we move on to the next topic, the men. So for our girly girl hormones, we have Progessence Plus, which we've talked about, okay, Femigen, which we've also covered. And now we're going to talk about Thyromin, and I mentioned it earlier, and that was huge. It's played a significant role in helping support my body in dealing with the Hashimoto and the hypothyroid diagnosis that I received. So Thyromin works on metabolism, energy, body temperature, calorie burning. It's proactive in supporting the thyroid. It uses porcine glandular extracts to create hormones. It contains 4 oils, which are myrtle, that's good for healthy skin and nails, peppermint for healthy muscles, bones, and skin, myrrh, which is a powerful antioxidant, and spearmint, which is just for overall system support. The next one is cortisol, and I love this one too. So cortisol is a hormone cortisol is a hormone produced by the adrenal gland that responds to stress and low blood sugar. So when you want to support a healthy level of cortisol in your body, you reach for cortisol. Cortisol is good for that fight or flight response. So when you're super stressed or you have you're being chased by a bear, you know, you're in Kings Canyon National Park in California and a bear is chasing you, you have an exorbitant amount of cortisol being released so you can like get out of Dodge, right? But when it's produced too often, it can be harmful. So you can experience fatigue, have a hard time maintaining a healthy weight, have cardiovascular trouble, which means heart trouble. This supplement helps support your body's natural balance. Again, it maintains that homeostasis. It's designed to aid female glandular systems. It's not hormone replacement therapy. The supplement moves in and supports the system. It helps you wake up feeling more rested and less on edge. It helps you hit a desired weight or feel more emotionally balanced. It contains the essential oils fennel, which is good for feelings of well-being during your cycle. Peppermint, it's very soothing. Clary sage, it's a hormone oil. Canadian fleabane, which is for cardiovascular and hormone system support. It's a very rare oil, and we actually just got it this summer. So, yeah, this convention. So, and frankincense, which is for emotional balance. So you can take Cortistop, you can take 2 capsules in the morning and 2 capsules at night, use it for 8 weeks, and then discontinue for 2 to 4 weeks before resuming. And I wouldn't suggest taking glandular replacements nonstop. Like, don't just keep taking it. Your body needs to have a break from that, kind of do its own thing before resuming. I took it for 8 weeks in the spring when we were going through the selling of our house and knowing it was being torn down, and then my husband's health issues. I knew that I was all over the place because I'm the strong one, but my body reacts without me sometimes always knowing what it's doing. And so I took that to kind of help keep things calm. Here's a few oils that you can also use to support the female hormones. Clary sage, which is aka Lady Libido. It's great for emotions and mood swings. So it helps with occasional anxiety. It improves cognitive function. I could use some help with that. And it's helpful with monthly cramping. So you can mix it with some Epsom salts during that time of the month. And it's also good for sore muscles. So that's something I deal with because I do a lot of strength training. Dragon Time. This is a game changer. It supports feelings of stability and calmness. It helps with moodiness during PMS. It contains the oils fennel, clary sage, marjoram, lavender, blue yarrow, and jasmine. So it's a good for both young and mature women. And you can apply this oil to the abdomen and lower back. And you can also use it to help you get in the mood. So Lady Scleriol. This oil both enhances the feminine nature and it also relaxes you. So it contains jasmine, bergamot, geranium, orange, and more. And it can be alluring and seductive as a perfume. So it kind of helps you get in the mood as well. Mister. So this, before we jump into some of the training for the guys, let's throw them a bone. Girls, you are having trouble with low sex drive. Around the 15th of the month, add 1 to 3 drops of Mister, which was actually created for men, but it's really good for older women. Apply 1 to 3 drops of Mister oil around your ankles. Sometimes you can just smell it and that's enough, but Mister boosts male testosterone. And sometimes women need it a bit every month as well. The higher your testosterone, the more in the mood you're going to be, okay? So a few other tips. Even though you thought it was male only, Mister can help with hot flashes as well. So use it in the bath, on your Vitaflex points, rub it on the lower back or lower abdomen, and it's a good companion with Dragon Time. He also recommends you use fennel and sage in equal proportions internally, so the Vitality version in a veggie capsule, and find an endocrinologist to measure your estrogen levels for 30 days through blood testing. So use these oils to support your system, but also work with your doctor to check your blood levels and see how they're working. And I think you'll be pretty impressed. I'm going to turn it back over to Susie now.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the top 4 supplements for men, and then I'm going to talk about some oils that men can use to support their hormones as well. And it was very interesting for me to actually find out about some of this stuff. For example, Powergize is one of the supplements that is made for a man. And it says that it's infused with blue spruce, goldenrod, and cassia, and that these essential oils are used to increase your body's ability to absorb 80% of the supplement, which is greater than the 30% the body absorbs from store-bought supplements. So we're off to a good start already with this one. It also has Uricoma longifolia, which supports healthy testosterone levels. Powergize is formulated with plants around the world that are known to help increase muscle mass and strength with physical activity, which makes sense then. It also helps with muscle recovery. So Powergize increases the ability to concentrate, think clearly, and stay alert. It helps your body cope with stress, feel more balanced, and relax more efficiently. It also contains antioxidants and immune supporting ingredients. We also have to talk about prostate health if we're talking about male supporting hormones, right? This supplement supports normal prostate function. Every man needs support for his prostate. This is the whole male glandular system. So if this supplement features saw palmetto and pumpkin seed oils, It also contains oils such as geranium, fennel, myrtle, lavender, and peppermint. These oils support a healthy urinary tract. So the suggested recommended is to take 2 capsules of that daily. And the third supplement for men that is mentioned is PD8020. This supplement offers 2 hormones that we need, pregnenolone and DHEA, to produce testosterone, progesterone, cortisol, and estrogen. As you age, you make less and less of these particular hormones, which in turn means you produce less of the other hormones as they are precursors to these. It's important to replace them because these 2 hormones help you make all the other ones that you need. This supplement is great for the adrenal glands on the top of each kidney, as we pointed out earlier, and they help regulate blood sugar and blood pressure. They help your body burn fat and use protein. They release cortisol, which is our stress hormone. Supporting these glands means that you're supporting your overall cardiovascular health, your metabolism, your weight, and your body's ability to manage stress, which is directly linked to your body's ability to fight bacteria and other infections. It also helps with libido. This actually is it put up a big light bulb in my head. So this is going on our next order this month. Thiamine, this one is a supplement. Also, we were talking about it for women, but this is also recommended as a men's supplement because it regulates your body's metabolism, energy, and body temperature. It controls calorie burning and your heart rate. If this is working well, it will help you maintain the weight you want to be at. For a man, it helps with balding or hair loss, lower sex drive, decreased testosterone levels, not feeling like your manly self, and loss of muscle mass and strength. It also helps with chills. It helps with the feeling of anxiousness and being sweaty or on edge, like just being all around restless, right? This contains iodine, porcine glandular extracts, you guys are going to help. Is it lysistine and lysistine? Or cysteine and lysistine?
L-cysteine.
Okay, so it is L.
Yeah.
Okay. L-cysteine and L-cysteine, and 4 essential oils: spearmint, peppermint, myrtle, and myrrh. And now we're going to go into the male hormone support oils. These are going to be goldenrod. I think everybody can figure that one out, right? This oil is good for the bedroom. It's good for circulation. As weird as it sounds, put it on the testes, lower abdomen, or inner thighs for goldenrod. Next is ylang ylang. This helps balance male and female emotions. Yes, this is a good one to put in the diffuser at that time. Even men have a sensitive side. Ylang ylang helps with anger, possessiveness, low self-esteem, and nourishes emotions like confidence, awareness, and it helps you feel happy. Put this oil on your inner thighs or over your heart. Next, we have Shutran. Shutran balances hormones, or Shutran, tomato, balances hormones in a different way than ylang ylang. Pheromones are behavior-altering agents. They act outside of the body of an individual that is secreting them and impact the behavior of another individual. Shutran is made for a man to attract a woman. Put it on your forearms or your inner thighs. Next is Mister. This oil balances male energies and emotions. It helps with relaxation, mental clarity, libido, and it calms you down. Add a drop to your wrists or ankles, or on the front and back of your pubic bones. And lastly, we have Dorado Azul. This one complements all the other oils and supplements to help them work better. Apply a drop or two to your throat, over the thyroid, or mid-back daily, or diffuse it, is the instructions for that one. So now let's shift gears and talk about some of Young Living founder Gary D. Young's notes from when he was alive on the endocrine system. He said, as women get older, between the ages of 35 and 45, they become increasingly susceptible to estrogen dominance because of increased frequency of ovulation and lower production of progesterone. It can lead to osteoporosis, mood swings, depression, and an increased risk of breast, endometrial, cervical, and uterine cancers. They also suffer from estrogen deficiency, which can significantly raise their risk of heart disease. That is why women's risk of heart disease reaches the level of a man after age 40. Creams increase natural progesterone and pregnenolone because they are readily absorbed through the skin and tissues. Our 2 creams are Regenolone and Prenolone. Okay. So, what is the Regenolone? The Young Living website says it contains MSM. Sorry, you guys. I don't mean to butcher this, but I really don't. I'll just get tongue-tied if I try. The Young Living website says that Regenolone contains MSM. Pregnenolone from wild yams. We already discussed the wild yam thing. Wolfberry, which is Ningxia berry extract, trace minerals, aloe, and 20 herbs and essential oils. Gary also liked to use this alongside of prenolone for nerve support, which I found very interesting. I'm really wondering why I don't have one of these creams as well. This is, so prenolone cream is for either men or women that helps to naturally balance hormones that are high. This can be used in conjunction with the last one that we talked about. Gary recommends that you try the creams the first 5 days of your period when you're actually bleeding, and then stop from days 5 to 14. And it's optional from days 14 to 18. And then you start with just about an eighth or a quarter teaspoon from days 18 to 23. And then increase to a quarter to a half a teaspoon between days 23 and the start of your next cycle. I'm going to assume that's on the cream, but I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But I'm going to say if it's that detailed, it's probably on the bottle or the cream jar, whatever that it comes in. So I want to talk a little bit about common hormone related troubled areas. So first is PMS, and I don't know. I know our family history. My mom had PMS very severely when I was growing up. So PMS is a real deal, right? This is part of the script that you've been waiting for. So premenopausal syndrome, more commonly known as PMS, is one of the most common hormone-related conditions in otherwise healthy women. They can experience a wide range of symptoms 10 to 14 days before menstruation, and even 2 to 3 days into menstruation. These symptoms include mood swings, fatigue, headaches, breast tenderness, bloating, anxiety, depression, confusion, memory loss, sugar cravings, irritability, cramps, low back pain, weight gain, acne, oily skin, and hair. And the causes are hormonal, nutritional, psychological, and stress related. So that is a lot of variables affecting PMS. There are recipes that Sarah has in this book for Gary's hormone support recipe, cramping, and irregular periods. If you guys want those recipes, just let us know and we can put them in the chat. But I don't want to go through that and take the time with it. I'd rather talk a little bit about when migraines accompany periods, because we get that a lot, right? A lot of people talk about headaches and migraines during their period. So what it says is that a colon and liver cleanse can help reduce symptoms. Young Living's cleansing trio is superior when it comes to cleansing. So let's recap all the hormone things, and remember that this is just it's functional medicine. It's something that you're trying to figure out, right? You're going to start with one product, swap in something else. So I'm going to swap this over to Lene, and Lene's going to talk about kind of next action steps, like what should we do next? Where should we go from here?
Okay, so some of the different support suggestions we've touched on briefly. So for the pituitary gland, you got Omega-Gize, sacred frankincense. For the thyroid, you have Thyromin and myrtle oil. For the adrenal glands, Omega-Gize, Super B, mineral essence, nutmeg, and clove. And then for the whole body, we have Progessence Plus, Femigen, Sclerescence, or Endoflex oils. And then for the men, for the healthy testosterone, you have Power-Gize, Shutran, sacred frankincense. For the prostate, you have Prostate Health oil, saw palmetto, and pumpkin seed oils. Support for the thyroid, again, got the Thyromin and lemongrass, frankincense, and myrrh. PD8020 also offers 2 hormones that you need, the pregnenolone and then the DHEA, to produce that testosterone. And then the support for the thyroid, again, the Thyromin. So more, here's a pro tip. More than anything, go break out your nutmeg and your clove and get them on your adrenal points on your feet. That's a simple thing that you can do to kind of help your overall hormonal system. Here's something that you need to consider. So action steps for you to take right now with what you have available to you. Be proactive about cutting out all soy. Okay? Cut out all soy from your diet. um, because that has estrogen properties to it and can affect things and get things out of balance. So gluten can also be a major instigator because so many of us have gluten intolerances. So if you're going to solve the mystery of your hormones, engage in some food journals and go all ninja on your diet, okay? This is something I did, and I have realized I can't do corn. So popcorn is out, and sugar also really affects my system. So, and gluten as well. Oh, I get so uncomfortable when I have gluten. So I stay away from that. Um, would it not be better to go find that your body can't handle any form of soy rather than to have an organ removed? Like, say you have to have your, you know, if you've had a hysterectomy, you've had a hysterectomy. So we're not belittling what you have done, but if you still have all your parts, but you're having issues, let's maybe change your diet so that instead of having to go through a major surgery. So something to consider. I'd rather be on a lifelong supplement than I think have a major surgery if I could. So pick a food, cut it out 100% for 30 days, okay? And then chart, like keep a food journal. Write down how you feel when you're not on, you know, with what you eat throughout the day. So start with soy, then gluten, then all sugar, and it comes in many different forms, right? Then dairy, and then next cut out all processed foods and and drinks. So come up with a system to write down how you're feeling physically, emotionally, because remember our hormone system affects our mood and our feelings. So keep it in the same place. If you're not tracking, you're not going to know what's working and what's not. There are products to try. So consider the Femigen, Omega Gize, Cortistop, the Prenolone Plus, and the Regnenolone. And try them, like I said, for 30 days and chart how you feel. And try not to take too many of them at once because then you're not going to know which one helped. So start with one, with what speaks to you most, and go from there. If you're close to somebody that has an Itovi or a Zytoscan, that might be something to consider, or muscle testing as well. And then I'm going to turn it over to Tammy for some Q&A.
So I know that was a lot of information. And really what we tried to do is just kind of give you like an overview of maybe what to look for. Like pay attention to your body. It's going to give you cues. And if you think that hormones could be the cause of some things that are going on, take a deeper dive into some of these supplements or essential oils. So I had my questions here and now they're gone. So did anybody recognize any of the symptoms that we talked about today? You don't need to answer me, but it's just something to think about. Whether it's like I had night sweats or bloating or increased crankiness, irregular periods, any of that kind of stuff, especially as you get a little bit older. It was mentioned that the three of us hosting this class are we are probably all within about 6 months of each other. All graduated the same year. So we are kind of all in that same season in varying degrees of life. But then if you have any one of those symptoms, like I said, take a deeper dive into either an oil or a supplement. And like Lene said, I would recommend Progessence Plus just because I think it's pretty universal. It's easy to use and it's topical application. So I think everybody at this class is comfortable with that. You may not be as comfortable with the dietary supplement part, but you just do what works for you. So we will open this up if anybody has any questions. And you can just unmute yourself and ask. I will tell you, our next class will be next Tuesday night, and we will be doing from like one extreme to the other. We're going to do a back to school class. So we're going to focus this one on, I still have a 10-year-old son. And I know a lot of like the southern states have gone back already, or they are getting ready to go back. In Wisconsin, we can't go back till September 1st. So I'm probably about a month behind for some of you, but right on time for Wisconsin. And that's where I am. And the third Tuesday of every month, we will be diving into some aspect of mindset. So the classes will kind of change, but mindset will be the third Tuesday of every month at 7:30. And we will talk about a different aspect, or talk about a book that we're studying, or something to do with mindset, but that topic will change within mindset. I guess if we have no questions, I will thank you guys for spending the last hour plus with us. Went a little bit over.
I have a question. Somebody,
Oh.
how does inflammation play into hormones? Very good question. So anytime your body is stressed out to the max or has things, whether it be food or environmental factors that it doesn't set well with, and it doesn't necessarily have to be an allergy per se, but inflammation can happen in your body. And when there's inflammation, the messages aren't getting through as well. So with my Hashimoto diagnosis, my body was attacking my thyroid for whatever reason. And the specific reason, I may never know what triggered that. But basically, my doctor said that I had inflammation throughout my whole body and we need to get rid of it. So I went on an anti-inflammatory diet, and also took curcumin or turmeric, which now Young Living has golden turmeric, and it's amazing. Highly, highly recommended. It's so bioavailable, which means your body absorbs it, and that helps decrease the inflammation throughout your body. So it can help your joints feel better, it can help your skin feel better, it can help you sleep better. So that's definitely something that I would consider. But overall, as far as how does inflammation play into hormones, if there's a lot of inflammation, there's just not, the messages aren't going to be getting through as well. So I hope that answers that person's question. There could be a lot more that goes into it, but that's my quick down and dirty answer. Any other question? Well, like Tammy said, we are so thankful that you joined us tonight. If there's someone that you know that was not here tonight and would benefit from this class, have them reach out to us. We are on Facebook, YL Unstoppables, and we can get that information to you. We do not post the classes publicly, but if you would like the information or know somebody that would like it, have them reach out to us on Facebook, on our Facebook page. So have a wonderful night, and thank you all for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.